Hello and welcome to Garblag Games for the finale of season 1 of Monster of the Week, where we finally get to murder the entire Andersonverse. By we, I mean me, obviously. With me tonight are a fantastically giant array of wonderful players. So yeah, for the next half hour, we'll go round them all as they explain their characters. Anyway, starting with Ben, who is next to me on the Zoom chat.
Okay, hello. I'm Ben. I will be playing Aggie. Aggie is a spell singer. She's had a tough old year in the Anderson verse because for her it's been 3.5 years, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Anyway, she explodes things with her mind.
Aaron, tell us about yourself and your character.
Hey everybody, I'm Aaron, and I'm playing Ichabod Rust. He is the wronged. His entire family, except for his brother Serrano, was murdered by a demon in the form of a spider creature that's affectionately known as Granny Longlegs. Serrano became spooky, and Ichabod has dedicated his life to protecting his brother and executing Granny Longlegs and any other demonic forces or monsters that exist, including Paz's girlfriend.
Paz herself might well count if we're loose on the definition of monster.
That is
I
true.
mean, I feel like that's an ideal segue to Pat.
Hi, my first time back in a while. I am playing Paz tonight, everybody's favorite monster fucker. She's got an eldritch girlfriend out there in the outer dimensions who may or may not want to perform her own sort of apocalypse. She definitely does. Paz is trying to help. But because I'm something of a wanted criminal for crimes against reality, I've been tossed in with these lot, and I now work for the agency so that I can, stay alive to commit crimes another day.
Multi-passes all round. Speaking of multi-passes, the epitomous Agent Anderson.
Hello, I am Nye. I play Agent Anderson. He's an agent. I don't know why I had a brain part there on what he is. He's the professional playbook. Yeah, Nye is not a professional, and yeah, he's cool and tough, and that's it. He's not very bright. That's why he's got to have a whole, literally an entire squad of advisors to help him. To do all the brain work for him and the charm work and the weird work. But yeah, he's prepared to fight whatever this dude is that we're about to fight.
I feel like also at this point there's an entire agency division that just does Anderson's bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Your accounts are terrible, man.
So we need to buy a whole new petting zoo, and it needs to be free. Just all the stuff, you know me.
Anyway, Mr. Ray, please introduce yourself.
I am Mr. Ray, and I am playing Roland Dawes. Roland Dawes is the initiate, and he's a part of the Order of the Secret Chord. He's your very typical kung fu, magic-y music man.
Awesome.
Yes.
And lastly, Leon, who is also our fantastic producer for tonight, which I feel like deserves a lot of credit, and we never bothered to mention.
You're only mentioning it because it was late going live because it took me so long to do the overlay.
I mean, there's a lot of us tonight. So.
Hi, I'm Leon, and I'm playing Billy. I'm the Flake, which is like the conspiracy theorist of the group, solving all the problems, figuring out all the puzzles. Not too good in a fight, so this is going to be an interesting episode for Billy.
Solving all the problems, then running away from them.
There you have it. That was the Anderson squad. Was being, the obvious word there. Who wants to do a short recap of last week for the people at home?
Previously on the Anderson verse. See, now in a supernatural kind of way, we get a montage of the entire series to date crammed into like a 2-minute window. But I don't have the document open. So instead, here's what happened last week. We got told from our haunted house in hell that we had to leave and go back on the trail because something bad had happened. So we went to find out what bad had happened. And all of the special forces guys from the agency were dead, and horribly so. So we went into the dam. Did I mention there was a dam? There was a dam. We went in there, and the reservoir behind it was full of magic vacuum power death evil. And then we went inside, and we got up and down stairs like crazy people, particularly Mr. Ray. Roland went up the stairs, and then he went down the shortcut way a couple of times.
He had
and
help.
fought a zombie, and then another zombie, but might not have been zombies. They might have been thralls. Okay, I know I'm supposed to be the weird one that knows the weird stuff, but there's been a lot of weirdness in a short space of time. It's been going to go.
A lot of things happened very quickly.
Yeah. So we tried to explore, we tried to find stuff out. Me and Billy were going to blow the dam, but then somebody told us all to go downstairs after Agent Anderson, who'd already gone downstairs to meet a guy who wasn't there because instead he was a bath full of blood. When we all got downstairs, we noticed that stuff from our previous hijinks had basically been welded together, including the rock from our very first adventure, which had an evil spirit trapped in it, the engine from the monster truck that had been the host of the demon Malcrow, one of Granny Longlegs' all of the blood from the adventure where all of the blood got sucked out of people, and Paz's ribbon appeared right at the end as well. So we're worried her head might drop off.
I didn't say this at the time, but to me that kind of feels like the supernatural equivalent of, when like you're a kid and you like put 8 different types of fizzy drink in one cup and go, this will taste great because they all individually taste really good. So this will be like 8 times as good. Then you drink it and you go, oh no, the soda water and the iron brew are not mixing well. Oh,
Yeah.
No, it's
Unfortunately,
it's a
do appear
dimensional portal
to
to
have
hell.
mixed well, and probably as a result of draining the reservoir of ley line energy. Thanks for that, bad guys. Not that we would ever condone the shifting of ley lines for any reason around a casino, for instance.
Yeah, definitely not.
Definitely lines one time and people never let
And then
them.
out of the bar stepped a rich dude who definitely is not a parody for any billionaires living, dead, or involved in high finance and business. Only he's got a few upgrades and is the leader of the Dryad Corporation,
Yep.
who we've known about for a long time, but went, sure, that's not a problem. Anyway, carry on my wayward son.
The only
There you
bit,
go.
can I add
So-
one little bit in that?
Yeah, sure.
Is that Aggie and Billy didn't actually go downstairs to meet Agent Anderson. We were in the control room
They
getting
were-
ready
they
to
were brought.
to like just mess things up if needed, but we were just sort of teleported by this person into
Yeah, there was the two of us in the control room going, tee-hee, they don't know we're here.
and then
Boom, teleport.
Also, just one tiny annex. Paz's neck ribbon, whatever, didn't appear, but wherever she is, it definitely tightened.
My.
As something, an arm of something was trapped through the interdimensional rift, and some kind of something similar to blood was being siphoned off of it for Dryad Tech rich dude.
Wait, Dryad Tech Rich Dude's got a connection to my. Oh no.
Well, we fear the connection may be he's siphoning power from her, though, rather than anything
That will
friendly.
not stand. That will not
I'm
stand.
okay with that. 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh, you're going to love my plan, then.
Yeah. Doesn't your plan just involve flooding the entire
No, that was
northeastern
kind
part
of a mundane
the
version of the
US.
plan. The
Ah,
supernatural
right.
plan is
Okay.
much more dangerous.
Oh, great. I look forward to hearing about it. So to spin it back briefly, as Ichabod and Paz aren't there at the time. Ichabod, what's he up to at the moment? It's several days ago.
So Ichabod, he had gone off to visit Serrano because Serrano was having a very difficult time of it and had gone back into a controlled environment where he could be monitored and helped. So he had been with his brother, trying to find a way to use his newfound abilities after he realized that his father was actually an angel and that he and Serrano are potentially Nephilim, to try to find a way to sever the connection between Granny Longlegs. So he's been there for days and has made zero progress because that's just not what Ichabod does.
Yeah. And at a certain point, you step outside for a little while, just maybe to get a breather, just to feel the fresh air on your face for a moment. And a familiar figure of a woman who you're pretty sure is a demon starts walking towards you. It is M.
What are you doing here?
I think you still owe me a favor.
You're right. I owe you a favor. Are you calling it in?
I'd prefer not to have to, but unfortunately, I've been told I have to.
Well, what's the call then, demon?
You're probably going to get involved in something very soon. It's going to be big in any event. And win or lose, I mean, I don't care what happens to you lot, but I've been told to ask you to acquire a finger for us.
A finger? A finger from who?
They seem to assume you'll probably recognize it when you see it.
Right. And then we're square?
I mean, apparently.
Good. I get you this finger, then I'm going to hunt you down and tear your head off with my bare hands. I'll be seeing you.
Yeah. Sounds like fun. And I don't even get anything out of it.
Even better.
And she just marches away back into the distance. What's Paz doing at the moment? Same sort of time frame. Agent Anderson and the rest are safely tucked up in Property 97, having a nice nap. They're about to be rudely awoken.
Well, Paz is probably in the basement. I'm assuming this is late in the night or early in the morning. She's
both of those.
Yeah, she's she's got a drink that looks suspiciously like this in a golden chalice that she acquired from the collections archive of the agency when no one was looking, and she's just
Everyone's
sipping at
been
that,
in there.
and she's casually painting the basement walls black for the third time. It keeps getting painted over.
Just an
And
agent
she's
going,
listening
hey,
to music.
hey Gary, where's the Holy Grail? Did you see where it went? Fuck it, it's got lost again.
Yeah. Like, it suddenly feels like the room is spinning. Except after a couple of moments, you realize the room's not spinning, you're spinning. and you're spinning quite quickly towards the floor.
Okay, this happens occasionally. I'm just gonna let it happen. I try to, fall to the floor in a way that my drink doesn't spill.
As you fall down, the ribbon around your neck sort of thrums, and the room around you thrums, and then you drop out of the sky. Not too far out of the sky, but far enough that it's going to hurt when you hit the floor. But a good maybe 50, 60 miles outside of New Haven, just smack bang on the road.
Do my clothes fall next?
Did you have them on? That's... it's your call.
I'm going to say they fall right on top of me.
Okay.
They were on the floor right next to me. It's okay.
Yeah. You're out on the dusty road in the middle of nowhere.
Panties first, then the bra, then the other stuff. And then I start walking towards a road, looking up at the sky to see if there's any sign of...
Right. You can see the distant light, because basically New Haven is very much where no one else is. So it's big, open, and barren all around it. You can see the lights of the city in the distance. Like I said, it's 50 miles away, so it's very distant. It's just really flat all the way there. So you could just sort of pick up the lights in the night sky. But you're pretty certain you're on the opposite end to where you usually came in with the agency.
Okay. Is New Haven near where the dam is?
New Haven is where Property 97 is, and it's far, far away from where the dam is.
Okay, well, Property 97 is something I'm aware of, I think. Can I,
yeah, it's your new digs.
Well, I think I'm going to head on towards there, assuming that this is divine intervention from my beloved.
As you're walking for about 10 minutes, you sort of start to hear a noise of an engine behind you.
I turn around.
Yeah, you can see the car lights coming straight towards you.
Hello?
The car stops dead, like right in front of you. And kind of middle-aged-ish man steps out, throws the keys at you, and just keeps walking off into the desert.
Thank you. Everything's coming up paths today. All right.
There's a note on the dashboard in the car that says, "Find Ichabod."
Oh, I would love to. I'm sure he's gonna hate this. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna start towards my my agency fams, because they're the most likely to know where Ichabod is. And also, is there anything interesting about the car? I mean, like this all happened so suddenly. Clearly, somebody's involved.
It just looks like a very normal car, but yeah.
Is it black?
You
or
could
shiny green.
Investigate a mystery.
You know what? I will. That's it's all 3d6, right? Unless we have
2d6.
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 I mean, if you really, really want to succeed at everything, you can throw 3d6, but it'll make it a very short session.
Has been a while. So I got a 4 and a 3.
Yep. So that's a 7. What is your
bloody
sharp?
It's been
Sharp,
so long.
yeah,
Thank you
sorry.
for giving me this quick tutorial on how this works. My sharp is a 0 because Homegirl's not too bright. All right. So that's probably a
Yeah,
failure.
so it's a 7.
Yeah.
So on a 7, you hold 1. You can ask one of the following questions. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here?
Well,
Some of
probably
them
the
may be
question-
less relevant at the moment.
Right. What is being concealed here is probably the most relevant one. I want to. So, I can tell from my ribbon, my choker, being tingled, that some part of this has been orchestrated by the mistress. But I want to see if this person is related, possibly another cultist, because networking. At the very least, I want to know what color the car is.
The car is a midnight blue, but yeah, the general sense that you get is that whatever happened here, it was put into motion by your interdimensional girlfriend.
Marvelous, marvelous. Well, I'm going to assume then that this person is a friend.
Magic around it, well, it's not quite magic, but the energy around it feels kind of strained, as if for the first time in ever, they seem to be at the end of their powers.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, well,
Now,
that
you
actually...
probably haven't been speaking regularly at the moment because it's a little ticked off with you for
right
obvious reasons.
Yeah, because I failed to kill the rest of the team that one time. Yeah, I know. We haven't been talking quite as much. She never calls. She never answers her calls.
But yeah, this feels like either a bit of an olive branch or an act of desperation.
Going to take it for what it is, a car, and I'm going to drive to town. Very seriously.
When you get to town, when you get to property 97, the Stanmobile's gone.
Okay.
The Stanmobile has left.
Do I have a key or do I break and enter? I probably break and enter, but it would be nice to know if I have a key.
You've got a key, and there's like a building manager there, so you could just knock. But
okay, I'll just knock for purposes of not hamming it up too much until it's action time. And yeah, I assume I get in. I want to look around for clues as to where they might have gone.
It looks like they left in quite a hurry. Anderson hasn't had his usual 15 coffees to keep himself motivated. And yeah, it's the middle of the night still, and everyone's gone.
Sheesh! They went on an adventure without me. Probably because I was in the other place, painting the walls black again. Should I look around for clues? You want me to roll an investigation?
Yeah. You can,
right.
or you can.
Ooh,
possibly...
this time it's a natural 10.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sure.
One of the clues you'll find will be the sticky label on one of the doors on the top floor that says "Paz's room, keep out" in Aggie's handwriting.
Oh, so sweet! I go and check out my room.
It was the king room.
You can, yeah. You can. Nye can describe it best of all because Nye has the notes. Nye's now quickly opening the notes. But in the meantime,
it's a nice room. It's a very nice,
room for Paz.
Just for Paz.
You can ask 2 questions from the previous list.
Okay.
Do you want me to run through the list again?
I think I have it more or less. So, what is being concealed here, I guess, with reference to... what happened here with reference to where the hell did they go? And
It- yeah.
yeah. Anything
It
else?
looks like some kind, based on the way everything has been left, and they seem to have piled into the car and driven off quite quickly. It looks like some kind of very serious level threat has come about. Otherwise, you know, they've just left in like moments.
Okay, so they rapidly left. Is there are there any effects left behind? There's no notes, nothing.
I don't recall Anderson letting anyone else that wasn't there know, so no.
Okay.
Can he retroactively have left a voicemail?
He
We've
was
gone to
phoning
a,
everyone, that's true. So
yeah, true.
Okay, yeah. There's a little blinking. I don't know how a voice. What are those machines called? I am young and
Yeah.
don't know what they are.
Answering machine.
The
Answering
answer machine is the lights blinking on it. Yeah.
Okay, I checked the answering machine then.
It
Yeah.
goes through the message and it starts with, "Hey Paz, this is Agent Anderson. We had to leave in a hurry because of..."
Okay, normal. That's it.
The seems to be coming from every electronic device in the house.
Okay, well, this turned out to be a bit of a dud. Do I have any idea where Ichabod lives?
You know, he visits his brother fairly regularly, which is what he's doing now, as far as you're aware.
Where does his brother live? I would probably know because he wants to kill me.
seems like a fair idea.
I mean,
Yeah,
you know where I
would have
live.
told Paz where she should never show her face. And that's where his brother is.
Absolutely.
By default, you know that is the place. There's just one little problem with the house around you. It appears to have an extra corner.
Oh. Well, I have always been one to exercise caution in the face of the unknown. I walk right into the corner.
As you walk into the corner, you notice like a pair of shadows along the side of you, moving along with you. Ichabod, once again, you're outside of Serrano's room. You might be in the hallway. You might be, just getting a snack or something to eat. It's fairly quiet around at the moment. But yeah, you notice a similar kind of thing. There's an extra corner really close to where you're sitting.
God damn it. Long legs. If you're coming and he charges it, he assumes it's Granny Longlegs trying to come through to get Serrano. So
hey, at this point, I feel like I have to make you both roll act under pressure.
I dig it. My
fucking snake eyes. Ah!
Well, you get experience, but
I got 7 on the die, so that's a 10 in total.
I think this is the first time I've ever actually gotten a 2 in this game. Had to happen eventually. My cool is a 2, but that makes it a 4, so I can still fail.
Yeah, you charge straight at this shadowy form that's appearing right in front of you as you run into this extra corner as well. And it almost feels to both of you like you're in a long, stretched out, dark corridor. And there are shadows all around you, but it's this main one in front of you, Ichabod, that as has more mass than the others.
He's moving at it with a purpose. Hand
Paz-
starts to glow. He's ready to crush
Yeah.
souls.
As you get slammed on your backside, as Ichabod comes charging through.
Oh,
He's got one hand down on her throat. He's like, God damn it, Paz.
oh
Have you
this is
thrown
so
off
sudden.
the shackles of that eldritch whore yet?
Well, I mean, are you offering new shackles? This is fun.
Well, you see Ichabod for the first time, gets a little embarrassed, blushes a little bit. He's like, what the hell is going on here, Paz?
I was hoping you'd know. I was teleported into the middle of a field, given a car by a stranger, and told to find you. And then I walked into a corner that didn't exist. Here we are.
Yeah. I ran into the same corner, the hospital that Serrano's at. Where's Anderson? He's going to know what the hell's going on.
That is a lovely question, and I was really hoping you'd know.
Well, God damn it. And Ichabod picks up the phone, uses his badge for the first time, and calls the agency.
I'm just about as well. You're actually more useful.
There is a room as well that says ick, itch, Rust's room in the same script.
You're still pretty much in this darkened corridor, but
Oh,
the phone from Property 97 is there. And as you pick it up, you hear this strange kind of chittering sound in your ear. Paz, looking over Ichabod's shoulder, you can see Ichabod standing over the other side of the room as well.
I love the vibes of this place. Really homey. Hi, other Ichabod.
Other
Ichabod
Ichabod
looks
appears
at the
to be
phone and he's just
moving towards
crushing
you.
it.
Yeah. As you crush it, you notice across from the side beneath Paz, there's another Paz, and there's an Ichabod next to the other Paz, but on the opposite side to where Paz is looking.
Okay. So I think,
Funhouse.
are we talking maybe investigate a mystery to figure out where we are or trying to get the heck out of here?
Sure.
+2 on sharp and 5 on the die. So only a 7.
As was there for the 4-dimensional cockroaches, though.
I was.
Paz was there.
May I also make a
Um,
roll for the
Are
same
you
thing?
investigating a mystery or reading a bad situation, Ichabod?
Oh,
Because you
which-
already rolled, but you can also roll Paz.
yeah, I guess read a bad situation. I got a 7.
So yeah, hold 1.
All right. What's my best way out?
It feels like it still feels very much like a corridor leading in 2 directions. So you kind of hope that either direction should go somewhere. They look like ways out.
All right. He's like, all right, Paz, come on.
Okey-doke. I got a 9 plus 0. So this is for investigate a read a bad situation. Is that sharp also, or is that cool?
That's also
Sharp.
sharp, yeah.
That's sharp. All right. Well, I'll take investigate. What happened, or what is being concealed here, and
Read a bad situation is what's my best way in, what's my best way out, are there any dangers here we haven't noticed, what's the biggest threat, what's most vulnerable to me, and what's the best way to protect the victims.
all right. What's the biggest threat, and what? Sorry, I think one of them was like what, more or less, what's going on here, something to that effect. What is most dangerous to me, or something?
So the biggest threat you instantly recognize, you've been through this before with the European ghost hunting crew
Yes.
in the abandoned hospital. Whatever they are, you and Aggie affectionately refer to them as 4-dimensional cockroaches. And at least 3 of them seem to be swarming towards you.
Oh, lovely. And they look like us.
That's probably the biggest threat. And so, are there any dangers we haven't noticed, or what's most vulnerable to me? Is that what you wanted to ask, or?
Yeah. Are there any other? Or sorry. Yeah. What's most vulnerable to me, probably?
Other than Ichabod.
Yeah. I mean that is to be assumed.
Yeah.
This is for new information. We already know about it.
Yeah. You're probably, out of the 2 of you, most able to tear a hole in whatever mini dimension you're currently in, and tear it a new one and find a way out. So
Wow, that means
other
I'm
than
useful.
the cockroaches, they're definitely kind of squishy.
Okay, well,
At the moment, though,
yeah,
they're closing in all around you. And they keep shifting. Like, one moment for Ichabod, they're Paz and Ichabod, and then Serrano, and then kind of like a photocopied photocopy of a photocopy of Granny Longlegs. And just they keep shifting through forms that you recognize. Agent Anderson's staring at Paz, disappointed.
Oh,
Billy's waving his arms wildly. And yeah, they're closing in all around you.
Ichabod, shall we? I extend my hand in a broad and wide romantic gesture.
Ichabod looks down his hand. He's like, all right, fine.
Okay.
Cockroaches start to lunge forwards. Anyway, over at the dam. The Anderson, Aggie, and Billy kind of stood surrounded by these bloodless agents in front of the big glass dome thing where a hydro dam engine turbine should be, where this machine is in that seems to be drawing and trapping something from another dimension and siphoning off whatever classes as its blood. You're stood there in front of David Collins, the CEO of Dryad Tech, and Roland Dawes. You're still in the room, but Collins gave you a look quite dead on with those blood red eyes just before he exited, so he knows you're there.
Yeah, to be fair, I wasn't hiding very well.
I wish to work out how his machine is working, his magic monster machine.
Yeah.
What is the best thing to do that with?
I think it's probably going to be investigate a mystery.
Okie dokie.
Like what happened here, what can be or what's being concealed here is probably
Yep. Okay. Investigate a mystery. We might as well just give up on that because that's 3. +1, 4.
Kind of you try to peer past, and not just with your normal, your eyesight, your hearing, your senses, but also with your magical senses. And the moment you do that, ruins and sigils that you might remember from a certain casino-based adventure light up all around the inside of the hydro dam turbine hall, and it just sort of impacts in on you, and you kind of
Took me 3 years
recoil
to
a
break
bit.
that last time.
David Collins looks at you and goes, I think you might recognize those. Anyway, thank you for joining me here. I've wanted to meet you all for so long. You've done such great work for me and the agency, I suppose. But
So is this like a reward thing, or are you killing us? I'm confused now. Which is it?
It's really, you should definitely see it as a reward. You see, you're gonna help me achieve what I deserve. True and utter godhood.
Oh, try not to go to totally sane, completely normal. Yeah, makes sense.
I just kind of need a little bit or most of your blood.
Mine or everyone's? Because I'm pretty pale.
Preferably everyone's, because, I mean, and he points over at the machine behind him, that's siphoning off of the blood off of Paz's girlfriend.
Some people call her the mistress.
The mistress, there you go. As it draws blood off of it, for you, it resembles something like blood, but that's just a matter of like your senses trying to compress it into something you can understand. He's like, it just needs a little diluting with something more palatable for myself. And I thought, after all your great works, this would be a fitting reward.
That sucks as a reward. I mean, you probably should have opened with, I don't know, at least worldly riches. Try and win us over or something.
Look at it this way.
I'm barely out of my teens. I'm so manipulable. I dabble in evil magic. I'm a prime recruitment target. Why are you going straight to the wahaha evil villain mustache 12 going to drink your blood thing? I hope to God I'm buying the guys enough time to think of a clever plan.
he looks at you and he goes, well, you see, here's the thing with the whole magic vibe. I mean, I've been practicing magic since Granny Longlegs was in 8-legged diapers. So I don't need any help on that front.
Well, I'm not suggesting that you want to hire help in that sense, but you're coming at this and you're telling us it's a reward. So that's it, you're just going to kill us.
Well, I was just,
there's no wiggle room, negotiating space.
Yeah, sure. I can either take your blood, or I can just kill you and take your blood.
How much blood do you need?
Pretty much all of it.
Well, that's going to kill us anyway, then, isn't it? So it's a kill-kill situation.
You have to see it like on a subatomic level. You're ascending kind of with me.
Yeah, in the same way that the burger that I ate the other day ascended into me.
Precisely.
Is
anyone doing anything?
I was going to ask.
Anderson's making eye contact with the agents. What now that you've seen them closely, like still, what do they look like?
The agents look like the agents but they look like they're still moving about, but they're entirely devoid of blood. It's like all the blood has been drained out of them, yet somehow they're still walking around. They don't look like they're doing very much more than standing, occasionally lifting some boxes over to places and stuff like
are
that.
they blocking the exit for us?
They are, at this point, once Anderson arrived, rather than a nice hedge to either side, they've now formed a kind of semicircle around you. You could probably punch through it, you reckon? If you needed to.
Can I roll out under pressure?
You can.
Okay, where are my dice? Oh, for fuck's sake. There they are.
Every week.
Yep.
And I'm sure Mr. Ray will attest to this every week.
No, I wouldn't confirm that. I got a little confused there. I don't know if you noticed, but yeah.
That is... So that is a 10.
Nice.
I would like to... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. What are you trying
I'm trying to
do?
get Billy's attention without getting his attention. And kind of having a quick conversation sort of thing. But so he doesn't notice.
How'd you do it? Go on. It will succeed. Just tell me your fantastic non-verbal communication with Billy.
That is exactly it. So I think that Billy is the only one that actually trained with Anderson on non-verbal communication training. While he's doing all the hand signals and like eye wiggles and all this kind of stuff, everyone's like, what the hell is Anderson doing? Billy's like, I know this. He's asking who ate his grilled cheese. Yeah. And he's so angry he can't say. But yeah. So what Anderson is going to say to Billy in non-verbal terms is, I'm going to make an opening. I need you to go. I need you to level this dam.
Okay.
How does Billy respond?
Okay, I get a face of like, okay. Terrified, but okay.
Yay!
Okay. And then, Aggie, what are you doing?
I was trying to distract the guy so that you could come up with a clever plan.
Oh, I have
Basically,
a plan.
While the talking was going on, could Billy try to investigate a mystery though? Because there's a lot of dots to connect.
Please,
There are
I'm very
so
stupid.
many.
I mean, I'll say basically all of you can make one or do one action before some stuff is going to start happening.
I'm going to try something, but I'll wait my turn.
So I got a 10.
Yeah, great.
What sort of creature is it?
Yeah. You're looking at him and the blood and him and the drawing the blood away. And then you look down, and this will be the first time any of you sort of notice if you look down with Billy as well. And you kind of realize your feet are getting a bit cold as well. And you can almost see droplets of blood being sucked out of your body and heading towards him where he's standing. And combined with this power of sorcery, this siphoning of blood, this almost vampiric nature, you in your head you put all of those strings together and you come out at a Auertach, which is a vampiric creature that, as far as you know, there's only ever been one of, and that one's quite firmly contained by the agency and buried upside down underneath a stone somewhere in Ireland, with a yew sword stuck through it.
Oh. For my second question, what can hurt it? Now I know what it is.
You presume probably that yew sword.
A yew sword.
And as far as you know, also the burying upside down and putting big stone on top of it. But, start with the little things, build up.
Yeah. I feel like there's going to be a Billy will try to do a non-verbal communication tonight, and it's like you sword, and Agent is like I don't have a sword.
I'm not a sword. I'm a man.
Yeah, no,
Flesh
you
and blood
sword,
person.
me Billy.
So, yeah, I guess I just leave Roland's to have his turn. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go back to
Yeah,
Roland
so
now.
You said I'm inside this room. What else is in there?
Yeah. Basically, all of these objects and a big old pool of blood, a kind of like the interdimensional rift that this spider leg seems to be tracing out is getting smaller and smaller and is kind of squeezing on what appears to you as an arm, but is probably a interdimensional multi-tentacled thing that you can't perceive properly anyway in reality. And something like blood is being siphoned off of it. But there's a big motor in there. There's a giant binding stone that's keeping it in place. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that looks like it's very bad stuff to combine in this way.
Can I take my axe to the binding stone?
You could try. Please roll kick some ass.
Righty. Let's do this. We can totally do it. Power of friendship. That is a 9.
Yeah, you slam into it with your axe as hard as you can, and the slightest chip comes out of it, but your axe bounces back and smacks you like across the cheek. And we'll say that's an exchange of bruises situation, because Roland isn't feeling too great.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how much harm is that?
Yeah.
It's -3, so you get 3 harm back.
No.
It just hurt your pride.
Your pride is definitely feeling bruised, and the giant demon binding stone.
Oh, it's Roland
seems
inside the
mostly
machine.
Yeah,
unfit.
no, we're all in
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
You're still sort of outside,
Oh, right,
out
okay.
front, just in front of the door where David Collins, who turns out to be in Auertach, came out of.
And that gives me more options. That gives me another plan. Plan F.
So is something in the
But
Fuck
yeah,
vampires.
oh, sorry.
at this point, definitely all of you start noticing that your extremities are starting to get cold. And as you look down, you can see almost a trail of blood coming out from you, heading towards him
No, I did
in
that,
like
man.
little tiny droplets at first, and then slight lines, and then some more droplets. And at this point, you're all gonna take 1 harm, but yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else have another plan? Because I'm going to implement my plan. which
You
is
implement
not a
your
good
plan. That'll give everybody a chance to implement their separate and diverse plans.
Okay, Lewis, I would like to do 2 things, and then you can kick the show with me. Okay.
Oh, I wouldn't dare do that.
So the first thing I want to do.
4 harm.
I can take it, probably not. The first thing I want to do is I want to. So again, to just repeat, they're not like tightly surrounding us. They're just kind of loosely.
It's just like a loose. They kind of led you in by forming 2 rows along the side of you.
creepy.
They're now forming a kind of loose semicircle around you.
Is it like Red Rover or whatever the other equivalents are? So like if hypothetically a person such as Billy or Aggie, although I don't think Aggie's going to do it,
If you
were
were
to
to
try
like,
and run between them.
yeah, well, if you were to like slam a couple out of the way, or like run into a couple if Billy knew that was the moment, which you've already kind of discussed,
Yep.
Billy could run in between.
That was what I was going to do. I just wanted to check that was going to happen. So that's the first thing. He's going to kick some ass, basically, just to pile drive through a group of them, enough so to make an opening to escape. Oh, please fucking work.
Have luck.
Ooh. No, I'm saving that for the. I'm saving that for the bad part of the plan. This is the good part of the plan.
Okay.
That's a 10. I guess the extra thing I do is the whole drive the enemy in a route kind of thing. So just enough of them to, I don't know, like a couple fall back or something, so they definitely don't grab Billy.
Basically, I'm gonna say in that case that you and them all like you knock a couple of them over, but they drag you down with them, and you're kind of like
for a 10.
Yeah.
Holy shit, these guys are tough. All right. Fuck.
They're just, you just slam into them and you fall over with them. You don't take any harm.
No, I know.
They do.
The second part of the
how
plan
much
might
is
be a
it?
bit fucked.
By the
I think it would just be one because I'm just like hitting them with my body. I'm not using a weapon.
Yeah.
I could have shot them.
So
damn.
You knock them over and there's a gap.
Okay. Can I do the second thing, or do you want me to let everyone else go?
Do you want to let Billy go first?
Yeah,
if Billy's if Billy wants to.
Billy's gonna make a break for
between them.
That's the plan.
You're the brains.
I would say act under pressure.
Okay, I've read about this.
Yeah.
Maybe a special ability.
I mean, you literally just read it from the hand signals.
Yeah. This is in the agency training manual. This is 8 plus 3, 11.
Yeah. You bolt in between. You
heading for the stairs
across Agent Anderson's sprawled body, along with these two bloodless agents grappling him on the floor, and you can run wherever you want. Yeah. Where are you going?
I'm heading for the staircase. Got to get up to the control room. That was the plan. Although I'm very concerned about the fact that I was teleported here automatically against my will earlier. So I'm a bit concerned that might happen again.
Don't worry.
So you start running, and your footsteps are like reverberating across this giant hall, because the other turbines are shut off now because you did that last week. Agent Anderson gonna do his second part of the plan.
Okay, so this is the clarification I need. Okay, so when you use magic, there are two things you could. There are one or two things I want to try and do, but I want a clarification. So if I trap a specific person, minion, or monster, say in a room, would you say it's fair that they can't cast outside of that entrapped area? Like teleport, say.
I'm gonna say
I have a plan C if that's a no.
Based on Billy's investigating mystery previously to know what creature it is, one of the main dangers with an Nautah is that it is not only vampiric, but in the extreme, it is also a very powerful sorcerer.
Fuck. All right. Okay.
Hey, there's a reason why it's the end game.
All right, plan C then.
You could potentially, I'll say you can hold it if you roll well.
I'm using the luck for
an instant. Yeah.
I'm using the luck.
If you burn a luck, you can hold it long enough for I'm not gonna
I just don't want it to teleport people. That's the only thing I'm trying to stop.
Just the horrifying thought of Agent Anderson trying some magic.
He has done it in the
really
past.
Bad.
Yeah.
He talked to the truck. Remember the demon truck? That was also with luck because he has a -1. And the alternative is he's gonna roughhouse this vampire, which is not gonna end well for him.
But it would be fun.
It would be funny. Well, either that or he's going to protect people, which is his final option.
I'll give you an added benefit that the Aurtach is definitely going to be distracted. In that they're going to be focused on you rather than Billy running away.
If I cast the spell.
If you use your 12, well, if it's a 12 plus, so if you use your luck.
To trap him. Okay, well, the other one would be bar a place or portal to a specific person or type of creature, which is just basically trapping, because there's only one door to this room, isn't there? So it would just be like, haha, you can't use that
there's
door.
another, like, along the other end, there's another big
okay,
staircase.
well, never
that
mind
goes up.
then. Okay, then, yeah, gonna trap him in there. Well, I don't need to roll anything, I just burn the luck. Oh, I burned so much in the past.
What are you on
I've
now?
used 4 luck.
Wow.
That's really bad.
No wonder you keep getting the bad assignments.
Yeah. As your how
I have
does
7
Anderson do this though?
I think he raises his hand and says very, very harsh words in a language that nobody speaks. And he definitely doesn't look happy about using magic, but he does to trap him there. And
oh, my little bird is all grown up.
Oh.
As his arm kind of reaches out almost to pull Billy, who's running off into the distance, back, the blood red eyes snap around to Anderson, and this kind of brief shimmer appears over his hand. And he slowly starts moving it back towards you. And as he does, the minions around you just kind of clench you tighter. More of them come around you and start lifting you to your feet and dragging you back forwards towards him. But his focus seems to be 100% on you at the moment.
Excellent. Okay. Engaging Aggie Plan B.
oh, thank God, we're only on B. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I know what
Destroying the dam was Plan A.
Oh.
I'm going to teleport into the glass chamber thing.
Fuck.
Which I don't have to roll for because it's a divine ability.
Okay. Isn't it like...
I'm gonna.
I have to roll for it if I'm taking someone with.
Mean here. And ask you to act under pressure again, as you may have previously experienced under the Aurtach's effects.
I can do it. Hang on. Am I
You're just going to teleport to pick up Ichabod.
I also...
beauty! It's an 11.
Yeah, awesome. You, like, last time you lost 6 hours. This time you feel that sort of wave of temporal pressure trying to grip hold
I see
you,
what he's doing now. I'm learning
shake
his
it
patterns.
off. And within, I'm going to say still within like 5 minutes, though, you appear inside the...
Okay, well...
You can't use the blood if I drink all of it.
Amazing.
You better not have any hangnails, because that's not going to be safe.
Yeah.
Cuts.
Oh, yeah, you're in a pool of my girlfriend's blood.
And other people's.
Oh, yeah.
How's Roland feeling, by the way, at the moment?
He's probably very pale, kind of swaying because he's got 1 box left.
Yeah. And like, as this goes on, you're going to take another harm from more blood being drained from all of you.
So Roland's
well, no,
dead.
it's an area of effect.
Oh, no.
That means Roland's dead.
Roland's
What's Ray gonna
definitely
do?
dying.
Not dead, but dying.
I
or
think
injured.
You said there's like spider legs that are keeping this portal closed around the arm, right?
Yeah.
Can Roland, as like a last ditch effort, like just try to like cut these legs?
Oh, I was gonna save you.
All right, let's kick some ass. That's a 10.
Nice. Your axe goes in, and at first it almost seems to resist it, but then you feel the vibe of it, and it carves straight through. And there's a moment of like perfect harmonic that goes around the glass on the inside, like running your finger around the rim of the glass, and it snaps in half and drops to the floor. The portal itself doesn't disappear, but now it's like shifting between sizes. It's getting bigger, and more of the arm comes out, and then it gets smaller again, and less of it is coming out, and it seems to be moving between sizes and dimensions. And yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna take a nap here, man. And Roland's gonna fall back on the floor, like sprawled out.
I will say Roland isn't dead yet.
No, I know.
Right? Yeah.
Pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the time Aggie appears, the first thing you'll notice is Roland is just like sprawled there with an axe and
guitar axe.
Yeah, and a severed spider leg.
Okay. We use an Ichabod.
Ichabod and Paz.
Ichabod's Paz sandwich right about now.
On the subject, Ichabod, wait, I've got an idea.
All right, Paz, do whatever you got to do.
All right, hear me out here. Let's just talk to them. And I want to actually, for once, I think, use basically what I do best as a para-romantic. And first, I want to figure out what they want. And second off, I want to tell them that I'm going to give it to them in order to manipulate them. All right. So I'm going to roll dice. And this is my ability. Monster empathy. And basically lets me roll to determine if I know anything about what they want. And motherfucker, I got an 11 unnatural, of course.
Wow. I feel like everyone saved up their 10s and 11s.
Oh, actually, it's a 12.
Yeah.
It was originally a 9. I've just got,
okay.
This is my best thing.
What does it do exactly? You can...
When you try to work out what a supernatural creature desires, roll plus charm on a 10+, hold 2. On a yada, 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 yada. It lets me ask a couple questions. What does it most desire? What would it accept as quote unquote good enough for now? And how can I distract it? Basically, I want to know what it desires so that I can use my other ability, Dark Desires, which lets me manipulate monsters.
Yeah, if you talking to them outright, or are you just trying to kind of sense it?
So I'm going to use a little bit of my background knowledge. I've actually combated similar things before. So I know basically what I'm looking at. I know basically what they wanted last time. Or at least I can assume based on how we resolved that. And I also want to extend my first, please, we don't mean you any harm. I just want to figure out what's going on so that I can help you. And then, gauge their response as all as part of my my role.
It chitters at you, like one of these shifting creatures shifts into kind of phasing form of yourself, of Paz, and it says, "You can't offer us." It kind of looks at Ichabod. You can't offer us what we want. But, well, what we need, what we've been told to get. But what we need right now is you guys.
Who's requesting us? Because if it's one person I can think of, I would go willingly.
Yeah, no, that's a whole dimension over. But
then you're clearly quite articulate. Perhaps we can drop the pretense. if you're not working willingly with whomever has your chains, we can break them. That is a promise.
Nah, no, you can't break these. I mean, we have to get, like, if we get you guys, they're gonna give us the Rust Kid to trade, and we need the trade because otherwise we're done.
Oh, are you with the long legs lady?
We're not with the long legs lady.
Are you against the long legs lady? Are you Dryad?
Ugh, Dryad. I mean, that's who we need you guys for. We need to trade.
Trade for the...
Anyway, your corpse is just as good as your living form. Just
well,
try
I mean,
not to
why
spill
don't you
too much.
just show us the way there and we'll walk in willingly. I mean, look, if you just open the door and we walk in,
you have
you're
Dark
filling your
Negotiator,
bargain.
don't you?
And I'm filling mine. Yes, of course I do.
Roll for it, because yeah.
All right, I got a 6 and a 4, which is a natural 10 plus my charm, which is 13.
Nice.
Damn, yeah. They're like
Side
we'll
bonus
take-
of not having to fight Ichabod.
yeah. We'll take you to the dam. Then we get the Rust
Woo!
Kid.
Damn. Oh, lovely. I
And
feel so much
you
better.
go, just like, don't start anything, or we'll finish it.
I would never dream of starting anything. All the things are in
And
motion.
Where Ichabod is holding the phone, a corner kind of opens up.
Hey, Ichabod, it worked out.
You start to kind of slowly fall forwards into it.
What did you have to promise him, though, Paz?
Actually, I think they did this of their own kindness.
Well, Ichabod looks back over his shoulder.
Roll to
I'm coming for you
manipulate
next.
someone.
That's a 7 plus 3, 10.
So yeah, on a 10 plus, if you choose to believe Paz, you get to mark an experience and you get +1 forward. But you can also choose not to.
You know, after our last adventure, Ichabod has hopes for Paz, so he will believe her.
Oh,
That's
You
cute.
know, it's against his own better judgment. He's hoping that she's being honest, because he doesn't
I'm not
want to
going to
kill
make
her
the same
right here and
mistake.
now.
Paz learned her lesson, and you learned probably the wrong one.
Yeah, clearly.
one of them kind of like gives both of you a bit of an elbow through this corner and follows you through. The other two skitter off in the direction that they came out, where Ichabod was.
Given the multi-dimensional nature of them, they could be heading in strange or charm.
Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
where do we fall?
Billy, you're running through the darkness of this big open dam space, and behind you hear like a kind of double kathunk.
Double kathunk. Are there stairs nearby? I'm heading for stairs.
You're heading towards the stairs right at the back. Yeah. Not turning around, just running.
You hear Ichabod say, "Bloody hell, Paz, where are we now?"
Okay, I might turn
Very
around.
much.
I might glance over my shoulder if I hear Ichabod.
I believe we're at turns to camera. The dam.
If you turn around, you see Ichabod and Paz kind of sprawled on the floor where they've fallen, and like a shadowy version of Agent Anderson standing over them, pointing back towards Agent Anderson and everyone else.
Thanks for the lift.
Okay. Do I need to read a bad situation to see if that thing's threatening them, or if I'm like, they're here? Because otherwise I might skid over to them to incomprehensibly shout some keywords at them.
It's up to you.
Yeah, Billy's going to slide over to them, but clearly wants to run back to get back up the staircase. Ichabod, Paz, Mega Sorcerer of Empire, Paz's mistress, locked up something. Thralls.
That explains it.
No good. I'm going to go try and flood the whole place, and then I'm going to run back to the staircase.
Great. We can take them both out. Ichabod starts stomping down the hall in the direction that Billy pointed.
Yeah, I'm kind of jogging along. All right. Catch me up a little bit more.
Oh, wait. I've got to shout, "You sword!" as I run up the stairs. Because something in my mind says Ichabod's got something like that.
Oh, they took it out of the bloody room. There was a yew sword in the room that we set aside for him, and bloody Portia took it with her.
Yeah.
I don't know anything
Anderson
about the yew sword, so I can't remind you of that
It's
fact.
somewhere in this fucking building, I guarantee it. Be under someone's settee.
Is it though?
All right, so you sword and my girlfriend. But all right, what exactly is going on? Where is this vampire?
Four-dimensional cockroach. Agent Anderson kind of looks at you and goes, "Less talking, more marching."
Oh yeah, sorry. Which way are we going? Sorry.
Well, over there.
The way opposite that we were told that we should go?
That's where everyone is. There. It's for the siphoning. I mean, yeah.
Oh.
Okay,
Not
so
my
we go in
problem
there,
anymore.
we kill this thing, Paz's girlfriend, and then you. I'm clear. That's all I needed to know.
No. We kill the thing, free my girlfriend, and also this lovely gentleman or person or non-binary or non-dimensional entity.
Roll Dark Manipulator again.
Right.
With +1
That is-
from Ichabod for helping out.
That is a
Automatically
9 plus
with just
3.
being scary.
9 plus 3 plus 1.
Yeah. Like a kind of strange corner opens up behind it and it slowly slinks back, disappears.
I'll be looking at you later there, sunshine.
Oh, lovely. So it just buggered off. Let's go do Billy's thing. That sounds smarter.
And,
Billy.
The magic blade forms in Ichabod's hand and his arm glows with divine power. And he's like, something's dying today, either me or them.
Ooh, are we doing weapons now? She pulls out a gun that definitely wasn't in her pile of clothing.
Paz, by the way, now that you're so close, like the collar around your neck, the ribbon is really tight.
Ooh, I know where that leads, and do I want to go right there? Because that seems like an awful idea. I love doing awful ideas. But this time I think I'll go with Billy. Let's blow this place up.
Yeah, Billy's running off towards the stairs, I imagine.
Ichabod, you go with Billy. I'll go see what's going on in the other room.
No, bad shit's that way. That's the direction I'm going. You want to run away with Billy? That's fantastic, Paz. Probably for the best, because I don't want you to be there when I have to kill your girlfriend.
I'm not letting you kill my girlfriend. I guess we're both going.
Sounds good. We'll start with the vampire, and then we'll negotiate.
Billy's just running on his own.
Now, those are terms with which I can agree.
Yeah.
Go kill a vampire. Killing my
Billy,
girlfriend.
you reach the staircase. Are you heading straight for
I'm a cautious, anxious fella, so I'm going to look up the staircase to see if there's any thralls on the staircase, because there was one there earlier.
And still kind of half clinging to the side. There's one pulling itself up slowly.
Okay, but it's dangling over the side.
Yeah,
Okay,
but like up.
but higher up. Okay, I'm gonna just run up and breeze past that guy. I think as fast as I can. Just up the stairs,
Yep.
2 at a time. Up the
Act
stairs.
under pressure. You know I like throwing people downstairs. Apparently.
Yeah.
Roland really felt that.
I've read about this. I'm so glad I took that power. So that's 8 in total.
I feel like you
Running
saw
upstairs?
it. Yeah. An 8. Yeah. You run past it, but like kind of latches onto your leg.
Oh no.
You pull it up, and as you break away and run up, it starts clambering up to get up behind you.
Ah, shit. Okay. I'm just gonna keep going. I'll try and lock the door when I get up there and start getting in.
Anderson and Aggie and Roland, yeah.
I appeared again, yeah.
Yeah, you're shifting into the dimension just like as Roland slumps to the floor. And Anderson has been dragged in front of the Auerdach.
Okay, Lewis, you know that thing that players do sometimes when they come up with an utterly batshit plan that there was no way in hell you could really plan for? Strap in, buddy.
I mean, this could go any way. Like, I created at least 2 interdimensional threats.
Right, okay.
Start drinking. Just go.
I'm going to pick
Where's
up
my blood going?
the spider leg in one hand, stick the other hand into the wound on the interdimensional girlfriend, and I'm going to stop the flow of power going to Dr. Evil, CEO Evil. Sorry, I keep forgetting his name.
David Collins.
David Collins. It's probably not
really
his real
forgettable
name. Anyway.
name. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to interpose
It isn't.
myself in the flow of magic and take it instead of him.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my plan. So I'm guessing it probably qualifies as big magic or just use magic because it's kind of outside of the bounds of human capability.
Like, use magic to get it kicked off, and then you're going to be moving into big magic as you try and absorb this massive energy that's not made for mortal people.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's
just
okay.
like when the dam is
And-
bursting water, if you just put your
I'm going to
finger
be the
in the
little boy with
hole,
his finger in the hole.
it'll stop
Yeah.
it, yeah, and nothing
Yeah.
bad will happen.
Right, okay. That's a 14.
You might get a statue in Belgium.
Yeah, that's a 14 on my use magic.
Yeah.
As my
Great.
additional benefit, can I pick Roland up off the ground a little bit?
Throw him in the
Roland
tank with you.
floats off of the ground at that point, like as this sudden surge.
I kind of meant in a like Healy kind of way rather than
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to
Because
say, do I
that,
need to start
that blood that's
humming?
being siphoned out of him. I
It-
want to put some of it
the-
back in.
Initial surge of energy almost makes you feel like you can do anything. And in that moment, you kind of like, I'm going to say, you get free harm back.
Whoa!
Awesome.
As
Some-
blood
that's-
pumps
wow.
back into your body in the opposite
Damn.
direction.
And you're like,
and
yay!
you kind of like
the doctor
surge
after
back
this."
with this insane adrenaline jump. But after that initial wave that you thought was the big wave comes the big wave, and it just crashes into Aggie as like a tidal wave of magic. And yeah,
So
you're
Roland,
perfectly still.
as you get up, you'll hear the word music from behind you.
Yeah. I think Roland's gonna start playing "It's the End of the World as We Know It" by REM on his axe guitar.
Yeah. Like, you're allowed 3 bars, I think, but let's not push it.
Yeah. Nobody wants to hear me really sing.
If 3 bars of It's the End of the World is about 200 words, isn't it?
True.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say I want to use magic to burn everything,
Yeah. Go for it.
and so it can be either like in an area or directed at one specific person, and I want to direct it at the Abaharkt.
Yeah.
I'm slaughtering that.
Owertach.
Exactly.
Basically, if it's in Irish Gaelic, none of the letters will be the same as how it's pronounced.
Oh, I thought it was Spanish.
All right. Ooh, that's lovely. That is a 10.
Nice.
So I think while Roland's like singing this, like he just points the tip of his guitar axe, and just from the head of it will be just a fireball
Yeah, and
directly towards it.
Slams, shatters part of the glass as it melts through it, and the rest kind of cascades out through the first 3 bars of it's the end of the world as we know, and slams into the back of the Owertach. How much harm does that do?
That is 3 harm, ignore armor.
Nice. So you do 3 harm, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, his suit, the back of his suit is singed. He doesn't look that harmed.
Yeah, I kind of figured, but
He is harmed, but yeah. Anderson.
So they've got-
Hijinks are going on behind you, and you can see
I
it,
can
but you're
see
being
yeah.
dragged forwards
Dragged
towards him.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So, I'm trying to think. Need to keep his attention off you two and off of everyone else. Oh boy. Oh, this is so stupid. Let's do it. Okay. So. Okay.
what's one last
so-
mistake?
Oh, this is definitely one last motherfucking mistake. So, I guess what I'm trying to do is, I'm assuming if I get brought closer to him, he's planning to bite me.
As far as you can tell, he doesn't need to bite you, because like he's already siphoning your blood off without even touching you. It's just
Okay.
being in proximity to him seems to be enough. Everyone else is still losing blood, by the way.
I should know I have armor. So, how does armor work? Because
I don't think that helps against your blood being pulled out of your body.
well,
by
I don't know.
magical means.
It doesn't specify how damage.
It will help when he punches you in the face in a minute.
Oh, okay, that's good then. Yeah. I think I'll just kind of let things happen because I kind of he's not attacking them, which is the key thing. I'm just the muscle at the moment. So as long as he's focused on me,
he's gonna pick you up,
okay.
but like with ease in one hand, spin you around, and hurl you back through the hole in the glass that Roland made.
Okay. It's
And
as he's about to
kind of go.
Okay.
Whoop.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flop. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're shooting the motherfucker. then.
What you do? Yeah. Are you going to do something as you're being thrown? Sure.
I'd like to grapple him.
Yeah.
Yep. So it still kicks my ass, but the plan is to use the whole. Motherfuck. Oh, thank God I'm really good at this. 11, 12. That's a 12. So. Oh, I guess there's not really one to kind of keep them in place. I guess I'll say you completely hold the advantage. All hunters involved in the fight get a +1 forward, is what I'll do.
Okay.
But I'm gonna shoot him with my gun then.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you're grappling him first. That was your like initial kicks and ass.
Well,
right?
can I do
Are you-
that? I don't think I can
Yeah.
mechanically. Okay, you're happy with that? Yeah.
You can have hold of him, but that won't stop him from moving.
That's
That'll
totally
just mean
fine.
you move with him, and like
That's
that's
less
what
fine.
He
Okay.
kind of tries to fling you around through this glass, but you
Yeah.
kind of grab hold of his arms.
Yeah,
and,
motherfucker.
Like, get him.
High school wrestling's
and-
paying off.
With the lightest tap from one of his feet, he just pushes off and propels you
Okay.
as
Oh,
you and him go flying through, smash into the back glass wall, and
Yep.
slam down into the bloodbath beneath you. And you're gonna take 2 harm for that.
okay. Yeah, no, we're all good. We're good. We're
But
all
you've got
right.
hold of him. You've
We've
got
got hold
quite
of
a
him.
secure hold of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone else, yeah, he's collapsed forwards with you into this bath of blood. So you have
Ichabod
+1
shown up
forward. Ichabod and
It would be
Paz,
appreciated.
you're running up. I
hope so.
imagine. In front of you,
Okay.
there's like this weird semicircle of shadowy agent-looking figures that are just kind of milling about.
Do I see past them? I mean, do I see what just happened to Stanley?
Yes. You also, strangely, as it like gets larger but then gets smaller again, you also see a hand,
Oh, I recognize
and then it
that.
gets smaller again. But you know, hand, fingers, hand.
My darling.
And yeah, the last thing you see is Agent Anderson and whatever he's fighting just lift off, smash through the glass, and splash down into some red liquid at the end that just goes flying everywhere.
Ichabod yells out, "Get out of the way, Stanley!" and dives over these guys with this glowing divine blade to plunge it into this thing's chest.
Whoa, crowd surfing.
Go,
Good song.
go for a kick some ass.
All right, so
I don't know. It feels like you're trying to do something that also isn't like one thing that isn't humanly possible, because that's a big gap to breach.
that is a big gap to breach.
You have +1 forward though.
Is there any way I can assist?
Yeah, you can
sure.
help.
You can help out. I'll say if
So
Paz helps out, then you can roll kick some ass, and otherwise you're gonna have to use magic.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm-
definitely gonna kick some ass then.
All
all right, yeah.
Please, pass.
Go Paz!
I offered to help you get over the crowd, and I'm like, trust me. And I extend my hands, like in the like,
Oh,
lift you over kind
Trust
of way.
falls and
He
everything.
growls.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, all right," and he does it.
And
Neither
then
of them are
you know,
working against each other in any way.
heave and help launch this motherfucking axe murderer.
Okay, so let's see. So I got
So
+1
yeah,
forward.
Paz roll help out on cool.
All right. Well, a good thing it's cool because I did get a 7, but a cool makes that a 9.
Nice. So yeah, you grant +1, but as you're doing it, like the bloodless agents kind of start circling around you as you hurl them into the air. They're closing in.
All right, so I've got +3 then with my divine blade. My toughness is +3, so
my
+6 to this dice roll. I got a 12 on the dice for an 18 in total.
Holy shit!
Wow. So what do you
Not that it
want to
matters
do
much
with
over
that?
12, but
Yeah.
I mean, his blade it's a smiting blade. So this creature is all creatures are weak to the damage. So I'm going to do double damage because that's all Ichabod really gives a shit about is killing things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 6 harm, and he's weak to it.
It slams through his chest, and you draw it out, and you're like, and like blood welts out both sides, and he just turns around at you and goes, "Oh, you little shit," and smacks you across the face for 3 harm.
Oh, that's okay, because once I get harmed, I actually do better at it.
Better.
Amazing.
And
While
so I've
this
got
is happening.
So that's only actually ends up being 1 harm for me, but it is enough to trigger that. And since I'm berserk, I don't really care. It's a fight to the death. It could last forever.
Also, area of effect, you've all had a go now. You all take 1 harm.
That's cool.
Is Billy out of
Do I need
range?
to take the harm given that I'm absorbing it from elsewhere?
Yeah, I think it kind of cancels out in your case. You're
Okay.
What about
like, there's also a big chance your head will explode at some point. So
is
it's
Billy out of range
Billy.
of that, or is it still siphoning off?
As you reach the stair, it siphons off, but the moment you're like in the control room, you'll be out of range.
Okay.
After I launched Ichabod, was there any chance I could run over to the arm? I think we're
At this
filling
point,
out
you're kind of being like surrounded by these bloodless thralls. You could, but they're probably all gonna, you'll take some
We can work
damage
that
on
out
the way.
after Billy's thing.
Yeah. So Billy,
Okay.
you can hear steps kind of shuffling up the stairs behind you now.
Okay. Get in the control room, slam the door shut, and I want to try and wedge the door shut. Put a chair up against it, a broom through the door handles, whatever I can to keep this.
Act under pressure as like these steps get closer as you're trying to find something to wedge in there, and
I got 9.
it's that ultra tense scene where you're trying to get the door
one,
shut
10.
and you know there's something right there.
9 plus 1, 10.
Yeah. You slam like something through the door handle, just like wedge it in with a folded up chair, lock it into place just as boom, something slams into the door on the other side.
Okay.
And followed by boom, boom, as it keeps trying to smash through the door.
Right.
Completely unconcerned about harming itself.
That's cool. I'm going over to terminals. I'm guessing there is a computer with internet access in this room as well. In the control room?
Would that be?
No.
That feels like a safety hazard.
Okay.
Cutting edge technology.
Especially in
mid-
96.
90s.
Yeah.
Okay. In the control room.
But, I mean, Billy's a resourceful person. Perhaps you could make internet access.
I'll just make the internet.
Hey, you're a genius. Everyone
phone,
believes
portable
Billy can do
modem.
anything. Yeah, it's just like
I feel like that's an Age Anderson question. Billy, make the internet. And
there.
doesn't work
There you
that
go.
way.
That's a plan. There is a telephone there.
I mean, there is a
So
phone.
there's a telephone line.
Okay, so there's a phone line. Right. Okay, I'm just
Just
trying
have
to
to
think.
wait till your mum's not using it, and then you can use dial-up.
Yeah, just falling back to. I mean, I'm trying to think if we've all got a wild, crazy plan that would destroy everything in our back pockets.
And then we'll do all of them all in one go
All at the same time.
and see who dies the most.
'cause-
The world? Or...
Because Billy's concern is him flooding the entire damn area. They are down there. So if I do start to destroy it, it's going to cause a lot of upset, and they're going to have to run really fast. But also, I want to try and locate this U sword. and that's what I would need the internet for. So, yeah, can I? Oh, how would I do this with a phone line? I have to kind of call a net friend, but through a phone line, but with the phone rather than. Yeah, can Billy try to connect?
You get out one of those old cereal box whistles, and you create a free dial-up using that.
MacGyver.
You can try it.
I'll try act under pressure.
Yeah, sure.
8 + 1, 9.
Billy has a special ability for act under pressure, doesn't he?
I think it's read a bad situation. I realised.
Is it?
Yeah. Sorry. But yeah, so 9.
Yeah,
in
9
total.
still. Yeah.
So was that with consequence or?
So yeah, you start you have to take apart some of the panels for some of the other control parts of the dam. So you're not really sure what's working and what isn't, but you manage to fix up an internet connection in the dam control room.
Okay.
By jury rigging lots of things together
Jolly.
in a confusing parody of your room in Property 97.
Yeah. Okay, and then I want to contact my net friends, but I'm going to spend a point of luck for it because I'm not a charming person.
In the entire series.
It's never worked the entire series, but it will work. It will work today.
It absolutely will.
And I want them to locate. Do I know that Portia has the U sword? Did I know that Anderson gave her that?
You were in the
you were in the episode,
but
yeah,
I was in the episode, but I don't know.
It was at the
saw
end
it.
when you all were sleeping.
Yeah.
Only Anderson knows that the U sword it was in Portia's hands.
Okay.
For all you guys, it's still there.
I have an idea for it though, but we'll see what you get.
Okay. So it's probably not worth my net friends trying to locate a bit of wood. I think that's probably beyond them.
Oh, you could ask them for schematics of the dam.
Yeah, I'm thinking of
that
actually
something that
asking them to
hackers-
get a military strike in on the dam
Oh, that's
to blow it up, which would level it, which was the instruction.
it was no. That's a very fair one. I'm okay with this plan as things are turning out.
But it doesn't seem like the safest one for everyone. But the instruction was to level the dam. Okay, yeah, I was kind of hoping to find the sword.
Yep. What you want to do? I will give you the possibility of doing whatever you want to do based on what you roll.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's kind of my job.
I'm going to ask the net friends then to help me how to work out how to destroy the dam, but using my water hammer technique that I know I can kind of do, which will be basically shutting off valves and stuff in one of the turbines to get water to flow down it and stop and flow down it again until basically it just smashes the shit out of a turbine, and it'll end up flooding the turbine hall.
Okay.
But yes, because I'm hoping that I can just get assistance on the roll.
Does that happen automatically, or do you have to roll for it?
I'd say, well, it's up to you. You're the GM. I was just asking the net friends for help to give me a boost to it, to make it more likely to happen.
Yeah, well, how does net friends work?
Oh, so I asked them for help, and on a 10+, I use my luck.
It's
a charm roll. Yeah. They're available and helpful. They can fix something, break a code, hack a computer, or get you some special information.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm hoping the special information will be how to create this water hammer to destroy the turbine.
So yeah, do you have to roll for that then, or what is it?
That's up to you. I mean, they've given me the information. Do you want me to act under pressure?
Okay.
Do I get any bonuses from my net friends though?
Yeah. Act under pressure, I think in this case will be to try and use what you've been given.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're hacking away, and suddenly, like on your screen, you see schematics for the dam start to flash up and things like that, blueprints. and like specific valve numbers and things. But you're going to have to put it together.
Yeah, okay. So jumping around the controls. 4.
Yeah, it's a confusing mess. And outside, this banging on the door is going on. And then like at the moment, you kind of think you're putting the puzzle together. It suddenly goes silent. And for Billy, that's worse than hearing a noise. Because you know there's something there, but now you don't know where it is. And you're kind of distracted long enough that you lose your thread in things.
Crap. Are we still on me?
We'll go back to the rest of the Anderson crew.
We're all there. I feel bad
Yeah.
now telling Leon to go somewhere else.
We
But
all
to
would have
stop
sent
this
Billy
fucking
away to
dam.
protect him.
I mean, once Leon blows up the dam, Billy will be the only character who could just like leave the dam and go away. So, is it bad? Is it good?
We're saving him.
Who's to say?
I might
nothing
kill you
says that
all.
we're gonna die if the dam breaks. I mean, we'll just have to survive the big rush of water. Yeah.
Hey, I'm stood right next to an interdimensional portal.
Fair enough.
Good luck, the rest of you.
Ichabod doesn't
Sure, it
care.
lends
As
to a
long as
realm
my
of darkness
girlfriend-
and evil.
As long as my
Siphoning
girlfriend
off
gets out, that's fine.
eldritch power levels of blood from an interdimensional being. Yeah.
That
So
belongs to my girlfriend. You get that back right now.
I'm just gonna pop away for a second if that's okay with
No
everyone.
problem.
It's not.
I was just looking at how much.
No problem.
Isn't it?
We're gonna
Oh, wow.
Whatever
strategize.
will we do?
If someone could use their angel wings to fly over and get a baby to go back to sleep.
It's all right. We'll
You're right
strategize.
back. Sorry.
My angel wings are stuck in the mail. Fucking Amazon.
Oh, I do actually have
They
angel
only
wings
keep
for
giving
my
me
character.
cherub wings, and I'm like, I'm too big for cherub wings. And they're like, sorry, that's the only small wings we've got. And I'm just like, it's always a problem buying wings online.
Everything's
Sucks
going
to be
great.
stuck between
We're all
sides.
doing fine. Everything's brilliant.
Oh, I'm about to. If I have to, I will fucking do the worst thing I possibly can to get this used sword.
Tell the
And
truth.
Yep, pretty much. The biggest, most
Give Pass an
awful-
allowance?
Yeah, well, you get an allowance when I'm dead.
Sorry, yeah, Pat, we don't need an allowance anymore. After we did that heist from the gangsters, we didn't give the money back.
No, we didn't.
Oh, we're rich now.
Oh yeah, Billy.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Oh, so Billy has a. What is it you have?
Billy has a Maserati.
I won a
Nice.
lot of money. Turns out
Yeah.
Billy's skill set makes him really good at gambling.
Yeah, the
That I
plan
still-
to have Anderson and Billy rob the casino to get us back in a rescue attempt panned out really well for Billy because instead of having to rob the casino, he just went there and won loads of money.
Ray can attest to this.
Easy.
The next day after that episode, I was like, guys, on $2 Creatures, like, guys, Leon from Garplag did something fucking amazing with the monster playbook, and it blew my fucking mind. And it was like, yeah, no,
That's
it was
awesome.
the coolest. It was.
Yeah.
It was like watching Ocean's 11, but Billy was all of the 11.
I didn't cheat.
No, that was the best part. Oh,
Incredible.
oh boy.
Yeah,
Well, if we have any luck.
Not very good at
bet.
fighting monsters though.
Ichabod's in his happy place. He's like, this is where he was meant to be always. So
Pass is worried for her partner. We gotta
Aw.
free her.
I'm kind of hoping the
Ichabod-
finale just ends with us
Ichabod's
all going to a
worried that your
wedding.
partner's going to get away.
Yeah, that's why she's gonna try and act before you get the chance. Basically, what my character's planning is Operation Free the Girlfriend, and I don't give a shit what's going on in the background.
That's fair.
Yeah,
feel like
you
the phrase
should all
Aggie-
concentrate on all of your personal problems that I have created.
You should definitely
Oh,
stop telling
marvelous.
Aggie to drink your girlfriend, because that's awkward and strange
Don't drink
on a
my
lot
girlfriend
of
unless
levels.
she consents.
Aggie,
In which
yeah,
case, drink
at
up.
this point, like it's overpowering, but you feel like if you could just get control of it, you could be the most powerful magical entity on the planet.
That's the trap, though. So what this needs right now is a pressure valve. And what better
I
use
volunteer.
of a pressure valve than to let off a little steam in a massively overcharged Eldritch Blast? So I am going to blast David Copperfield with some of this extra juice that I've got. I have no
really
idea
hope
what the
Lewis-
extra juice does, but
You have
he's
do you know who?
I was gonna say, I hope Lewis takes that literally, and Aggie just like puts her arm out in a random direction, and some
Into
guy
the-
500
into
miles
the-
away.
Somewhere in the 90s, David Copperfield sit there, like having a cup of coffee. And they're
somewhere
like,
on a
"Oh,
stage in
fuck."
Vegas.
Oh wait, not
Okay, bring it
not
back.
the Dickens.
No, not the
character.
Dickens. David Copperfield, the illusionist.
No.
Oh, never mind then. I got very confused. The
Oh,
90s.
yeah, the real David Copperfield. No, the wizard David Copperfield, who's an illusionist. Sorry, not a wizard.
Oh,
He's about to be the
I mean,
illusionist, formerly known as David Copperfield.
Yeah, yeah. That's
holy
what
shit,
happens
that's
if you
a
roll
dumb
a
name he
4.
has then.
Yeah.
Sorry, David Copperfield. I'm sure you have a lovely
10, 11, 12, 13 on the dice to blast him.
That's a serious blast.
Yeah.
So what were you
it's-
doing? Use magic or
I-
kick some ass?
I use weird to kick some ass when I cast combat magic. So
Okay.
that's what I'm doing. And I'm hitting him
So
with
10 plus.
an entropic blast, I think.
Nice.
So that's 1, 2, 3 harm, forceful, no, not forceful, messy. 3 harm, messy, magic, close, obvious, loud.
It explodes around Agent Anderson and the Oertach and Ichabod, who are all three just like at the moment kind of running around this pool of blood fighting each other. It slams into the Oertach and
And I'll
blasts
use
whole
my.
chunks out of him. And
Can I do
it's-
double damage on the 12 plus?
Yeah. So you go up to 6.
Yeah.
Do you have 12? Wait, what? Do you have the advanced?
Oh, no, I
move
don't.
on
Do you
kick
have
some
to have
ass?
an advanced thing?
Yeah.
Right. No, I don't have
But
that.
you can inflict terrible harm, which will
I
be
will
plus
inflict
1, and then it'll be
Terrible
4.
harm.
Yeah.
So it's 4, not 6.
And like you can see it stings and it's burning him, and he kind of suppresses a shout, and his arm reaches out to you and closes, and you start blinking again as well. The world around you starts blinking again as if he's trying to teleport you.
No, we had never that. Can I stop him?
You can try to negate the effect, either act under pressure or use magic, but I can guess which one you're going to use.
It's going to be use magic, to be fair. That's 11, 14 on the roll. Well, not
Nice.
14 on the roll, obviously. 11 on the roll, 14 in total.
You phase out for a second, and for a moment you phase inside one of the turbines filled with water, but then you like phase back as you get control of it and use this magical surge to push it back, and you appear again roughly where you were before, but you no longer have hold of the hand, and the rift around it is just like shredding out into the sky and then coming back in again and bursting forth. You still have the severed spider leg in one hand, though. Anderson, what are you doing? He basically still has one hand on you.
He still has one hand on
and
me.
you still
Okay.
have him grappled.
Okay, well, Anson's gonna let go, and like he's grabbing by like clothing, right? So you could take his like suit
just
jacket
like
off or
just
something.
has you, yeah.
If I'm like completely disengaging, and also Ichabod is here punching him or stabbing him, I want to disengage if that is possible.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
Do that cool kung fu move where someone grabs hold of your jacket and then you're not wearing your jacket anymore.
I'd like to get out of the bath of blood, preferably, if I can do that without using up my whole turn. Okay. So now I have one of two questions.
But you'd be out of the bath of blood because of the forceful effect from that last spell.
Yeah.
Like the blood is kind of it burst out and now it's kind of hanging there in midair around you as these massive magical and interdimensional powers are all flying around.
Okay. So my question would be, using common sense, that wonderful rule, I'm assuming the U sword just isn't in this room. I feel like Anson's smart enough to like just assume that he wouldn't keep the one thing.
Investigating a mystery.
Well, that's the thing. I could also do something quite bad, like really bad, like bad, to just get it. If you want, okay.
Do it.
You can do whatever. It's up to you.
I'm gonna roll to use use magic.
Ooh,
because I literally can't use.
There's a lot of magic
have
swirling around now, and if it goes horribly wrong, it might go horribly wrong for Agent Anderson.
Dice, please. Please be nice to me.
That could be anything.
No, it's definitely That's definitely his. Oh, I've rolled awesome face.
It's a 9.
Awesome face.
It's a 9 because I have -1, but that's good.
Okay.
So
it's an effect and a glitch.
Oh, can I pick the glitch?
You can pick the glitch, but the keeper decides what effect it has.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to take harm.
Okay.
Okay. So he's gonna like get out of the blood of Bath, and he's gonna see all of his important people getting not their shit pushed in, but certainly putting themselves in harm's way. And he's gonna kind of think to himself about how this is kind of his fault, because it is his fault, isn't it? He's been basically feeding this guy indirectly all of this stuff, and we've been training behind his back. So he's going to kind of like get to the floor, draw a summoning circle with the blood that's on him. I presume that's not unrealistic.
Yeah, sure.
And he's going to
kind of morbid, but yeah.
And he's going to summon the real Agent Anderson.
What?
Oh my.
What?
So
What?
Go for
he's
it.
not going to say that to you guys. You're not going to see. But yeah. So a figure will. Apologies, Lewis. I realize I've not told you any of this, so I will.
I'm fine with it.
What the real
that
Agent Anderson
just
looks like.
I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy it.
So basically, a figure. Interestingly enough, not dissimilar from the figures that are also, like attacking Paz. However, he's a lot dirtier. His suit is very torn. He kind of looks like he's just been dug out a grave. He doesn't actually look anything like Stanley. And I'll say for funsies, he looks closer to Moth, who is Angry Lady who Paz scarred pretty badly. So same kind of like dirty blonde hair, kind of similar facial features. And if you want to add an extra bit of flair, he's super going to attack Anderson if that's how you want to go with the glitch. Because
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he just lunges forwards. I assume having been imprisoned.
let's go with something along those lines.
Yeah.
A bite, maybe. I don't know. I feel like a bite is a good like
Okay,
horrible. Yeah. I don't know. And all Anderson is going to say is
he headbutts you. I mean, that feels
Oh.
like, like
Yeah.
right on the nose as well. Just
Nice. Blood dripping out of the nose.
and he's going to say to the figure, it's been a long time, and I would only be suing you if it was bad, and you're not going to be doing any of this for me. You're doing it for the people over there who are risking their lives to save this world. I need you to find me something. And we both know that the undead can find pretty much anything because, dead men tell no tales. I'm looking for a used sword. Go get it, bring it back here. And then we both know I'm not going to release you, but we'll, work something out. Also, he's saying this quietly into this thing's ear. He's not like loudly broadcasting this.
You.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to tell you something. Okay. How far can Agent Anderson travel?
I will say this just for your thing. It's a ghoul, so it's a bit quicker and more limber than a zombie. My reasoning is that, at least, and you can counteract this, like I feel like a summoned creature can do things like find things, because I feel like that's something you hear in stories, like they summon a spirit to find their lost socks or whatever, or I don't know, probably something a bit more serious than lost socks. And that's kind of what Anderson's trying to do. He's not going to ask this thing to fight or anything. He's just saying, go get the sword and bring it back.
Dead Anderson kind of like shoves you out of the way, slams his hand into the compass needle that was lying on the table, on one of the tables, helping make this machine. And as it kind of spins, one of these strange corners flits into existence, and one of the cockroaches kind of peers out and gets a undead Anderson straight in the face as he lurches through, disappears.
Okay. Wow. Thank God I did that. I would not have worked out to do that shit. Okay. Thank God.
So it's going after the U sword, but yeah.
You guys need to stall now.
That's what Ichabod is here for.
Yeah.
As an annex to that, you get hit by a sudden shockwave of magical power that shoots out of the Owen's arm.
Ooh.
As you disengage, ran away from it, and did a bunch of crazy stuff that clearly isn't in his best interests. So
no, that's fair.
When I see
so you take,
when Ichabod sees this thing trying to strike at Stanley, he goes to protect Stanley.
Yeah, go for it. Protect someone.
See, we know that Stanley is the real Seymour Skinner.
Oh, not a great roll. 7 on the die, so that's an 11.
Oh, not a great roll.
But it wasn't an 18. That's the new benchmark.
I mean, I know. So you can choose an extra. You suffer little harm. All impending danger is now focused on you. You inflict harm on the enemy, or you hold the enemy back.
All impending danger is focused on me. That's what Ichabod wants.
Okay. So
he just shoves Stanley out of the way, and he's like, "Come on, sunshine, let's dance."
You take the full brunt of this initial shockwave, but kind of grit your teeth into it, and it slams through you, and you feel like maybe a rib cracks here or there, and like your shoulder feels like it's pushed out of place a bit, and you take 2 harm. But the wave passes around you and misses Anderson completely.
All right, between my armor and taking -1 harm from protecting someone or kick some ass, I'm okay. He just grits it. Ugh, you got to do better than that. Let's go.
Okay, yeah, you're definitely getting it. I've been saving this one. Yeah, sure.
Paz and Roland.
Yeah, Paz and Roland.
Yeah. Can I see Paz getting surrounded by the thralls?
Yeah, you've like blasted an entire hole before all of this crazy shit started going down. You blasted an entire hole in the glass wall, so you can kind of see clearly out into the thingy. And Paz, this figure over there, she holds a like Ichabod straight through the glass, and he came in swinging with his sword. So, and then you see these bloodless minions come rushing out towards her.
All right.
By the way, I am, I'm looking around, right? But I'm absolutely trying to make for the arm, and obviously I'm getting surrounded, but like you can visibly tell that I'm making for that arm.
Okay, yeah, I'll cover you. So I want to burn everything, trying to keep the thralls from pursuing Paz.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
If I can do that. I'm going to spend luck.
Ooh.
I think that's my first luck.
Yeah. Like, I prefer it when you say, I think that's my 5th luck, but 6th, 7th, I mean, just keep spending luck.
So yeah.
No, that works out exactly as you want it. What exactly happens?
I think I changed my tune-up to a little more of a metally rift, and just like from the tip of the axe comes like flames that just sputter out and just start catching thralls on fire.
The vibe in this place is horrendous.
Fuck yes.
But every time you like hit your axe, it shoots out, cutting through these horrible vibes and clearing the way a little bit. And yeah, these gouts of flames just start immolating bloodless thralls around Paz as she's running forward.
Cool.
How much harm do they do?
3 harm.
Yeah, it does matter.
Area.
And,
Thank you so
that is perfect. Like at least 4 of them just drop down, and they're burning. They don't appear to be getting up.
So what you're saying is they get knocked down, but they don't get back up again.
No. Unlike Roland Doors, who I mean,
yeah.
Like I don't want to count the bars.
So I'm jogging on towards that arm. I'm making for it like a bat out of hell, and I rush to it just want to see what's going on.
The rift that's containing it seems to be growing and shrinking and just tearing through space-time around. As the
I've seen my
entire
girlfriend's
machine
farm
is
before.
getting.
How do I get it back where it's from? Should I roll for this, maybe?
You can. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's not a bad roll. I don't have any sharp, but I did get a natural 10.
Nice. Yeah.
How do I put this thing back where it came from? Or some help?
You think if you release the binding stone, the magic around the binding stone, and if you could get enough blood back into it, it could probably, the mistress could pull herself back in.
How much blood and whose blood? Can I?
I think he's absorbed a fair bit of it, and then there's some more in that big old blood pool.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is take the binding stone, put it in the blood pool. Problem solved.
That might
Really?
work. Surely, you know, like there's a pull on your collar. Like, I mean, you can't let someone else have the mistress's blood, surely.
Of course. Yeah, that only makes sense. So
Aggie's got some at the moment.
we're gonna make sure that stops. So let's move that binding stone in there first, and then we can, you know, mud wrestle in a pool of blood.
Okay.
Binding stone.
Didn't see that happening as when I started this tonight, but there you go. Yeah, sure.
Mud
Go for
wrestling
it.
in a pool of blood. It's a annual pastime for the holidays.
How are you
Another
trying?
natural 10.
How are you trying to move it though?
Oh yeah,
from-
I guess I probably should have determined that before I made a roll. Hope you don't mind.
It's very heavy.
All right, so probably heavier than I could lift. I'm assuming. What's the what's
time
the geography
I
of the
think-
tank?
Yeah, it's kind of directly behind it. There's some people in the way, but
Well, I mean, you know, people. Can I push it into the tank? Is the physics working out for that? Or
last time to move it, Aggie had to blast it with a giant amount of magic.
okay. So it's like truck weight, not like human pushing
Yeah.
on all fours
Yeah,
weight.
no.
Gotcha.
It's like a fairly large stone, but it's even heavier than a fairly large stone.
Okay,
This is really heavy for anyone who's ever tried to move
So we're
a
not-
giant stone.
I'm not gonna lift it. But what are the physics of the tank? Can I figure out a way to let gravity help me get it in there? If I give it
Stone's a
enough-
bit back from the tank at the moment.
Are they on the same level plane?
Yes.
And there's nothing that I can see immediately that would help me in this regards.
I mean, I could help out if that works.
Yeah, sure. You could, if
Magic music, man. Are you offering to help
Yeah.
me?
Always.
I'm not sure
always.
we've been introduced.
Yeah, we have.
Oh,
We killed an alien together. Remember?
I just forgot that you did the. You're so cool.
She's in her girlfriend's blood. We've all been
It's okay.
there. Okay,
Yeah.
it's
I'm a
we
little
all
confused
forget.
right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you help me with this? Yeah, I
Yeah.
want to push this into the tank. That should figure things out.
All right, cool. Yeah, I can help with that.
Yeah, it'll totally help dispel all this nonsense, I think.
Okay.
before you
To be
do
clear,
that,
that is kind of a lie, but
yeah.
I don't know if you actually want me to manipulate you.
Do you
or
want
not.
to go on, roll manipulate someone?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take that
Just
10
love
plus
handing out.
3, 13.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm
Do you
definitely
wanna
going to
do it?
help and I'll level up.
Sure. Great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love giving people XP by lying to them.
As
I'm into
Paz
it.
and Roland Dawes move towards the stone, Ichabod, David
Ic-
Collins is coming for you.
Oh,
It's come for your
Ichabod
heart.
charges right
That's
up, just shoves his forearm up into the guy's throat and just jams this blade up under his rib cage in an attempt to find if he can actually push it out his throat.
Yeah.
He doesn't like this guy very much.
If anyone can, Ichabod can.
Yeah.
Oh, a bad roll. 7 on the dice for
It's going to be like a 52, but
13. 7 on the die
Yeah.
for 13.
oh, I feel for you.
So I mean, this is what he's built for. It's the only thing he's
Yeah.
built for. But
Yeah, no.
so yeah, he takes this divine, glowing, fiery blade and just shoves it up in the sky, and he's just
Yep.
holding on to him, like going, "Do you feel that? Do you feel that now, Sunshine? I'm taking your soul to hell." So that's 6 points of damage, which he
Yeah.
is weakened to.
Yeah.
So I'll do the double damage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's looking pretty bad now, and he just grabs hold of your head.
You want to kiss Sunshine? Bring it in.
Squeezing it. And the blood bursts from your ears and goes straight into his hands as he does it. And you're going to take a rather whopping 4 harm, but you don't have any armor.
That's fine. Doesn't matter. Because I have Berserk. So as long as this fight goes on, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll drop dead when it's over, but until then, it doesn't matter.
There are bigger things to worry about than dying right now.
Exactly.
At this point, the entire dam is also kind of shaking with these magical powers ripping through the place. Billy, you're up in the control room.
Okay.
Everything's very quiet.
Yeah. And then I realised, it's because I didn't actually have it powered up properly. So I'm going to, again, try and basically blow everything and flood the turbine hall. But this time I'm going to spend luck. I'm just not even going to roll.
Go for it.
So
It's...
But I'm also going to smack the emergency, evacuation alarm button so that maybe that gives a heads up to let people down there know that something's about to happen. So, big siren goes off.
Yeah, it all powers back up, and you've set it up. You've opened the right valves. You've closed the right valves.
So it'll be like a rumbling and a shaking.
Yeah, the whole thing seems to be backing up with water flooding into it. But as you know, it's not just water. It's this amalgamation of ley lines that connect the Seelie and non-Seelie to our world, so it connects through dimensions across space and time, and it's backing up in this machine and then hammering forwards, and everything's going to come apart any second. So alarms and sirens are going off, including the ones you set up, and something crawls down the window in front of you.
Eek.
Nice.
Yeah. So when the turbine blows, it's basically going to burst out of the floor, and it's got a cover, and that weighs probably about 1,000 tons, and then water will become flooding into the turbine hole. So it's quite fast. And if anyone wanted 1,000-ton rock flying through the air to hit things
Billy
with,
gets to set the timer on this.
That
How
is
much
actually
time is there left before it bursts?
not long, because it wasn't looking like good when I left.
Yeah.
This is to be as fast as possible. So just as soon as I'm going to say the alarm goes, and there's 10 seconds from the alarm going off.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So back where you are, you can almost hear the dam kind of start to split, and one by one, these 3 turbines that do work, or that were actual turbines, burst up, come crashing down, smash into pieces, and then you hear this rush of water that's surging up and is gonna come flooding into the area any moment. What's everyone doing?
Ichabod's got a
David
hold
Collins
of this
still
guy.
there.
Ichabod's got a hold of David Collins, and he's got his blade up in his chest. He just looks over and he's like, Aggie, get everybody else out of here.
David Collins headbutts you again, and he just goes, "You just don't get it. You just can't kill me."
I just keep grinding that blade up in him. I'm like, I don't care. I don't have to kill you. I just have to stop you.
Don't move me out of this place until I get my girlfriend out of here. She's more important than me. Let me die if it comes to it.
Okay.
Aggie, do your voodoo.
Not on me.
I mean, I'm just here for a good time, man.
Anderson.
I'm ready to die, man. I don't give a shit.
Anderson just like rocket out as water. Anderson, you get a tap on the shoulder.
I turn around.
You get punched in the face.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, no, that's
But
very
like
fair.
one harm, but yeah.
Yep.
And just shoves the U sword in your hand.
He dismisses him.
As you do that, Anderson kind of flips you the bird, and you notice he hadn't actually fully drawn out of the interdimensional portal as it kind of like this corner shuts.
Yep.
It's gonna be a problem.
Gonna be a big problem. We'll deal with that when it comes. So he's got the sword. Ichabod's thingy in him. Oh, this is all going to shit.
There's
Okay.
water is like you're not sure how it's being warded off, but it is flooding the entire hall and somehow only slowly encroaching towards you like a
I'm gonna
surging
grab
tempest that's
Paz
trying to
and
break.
Roland, and I'm going to teleport to Billy.
No, I'm not done here.
Go for it.
I just
I-
started imagining like an ET moment.
The
with
Paz
Paz's
and
girlfriend.
Roland want to do anything before they're teleported away.
I want to make sure that the lodestone gets sunk into the blood.
Yeah.
So what is
I think-
that?
Roland was gonna
I think Roland was going to do
rock
magic.
out for that, and
If
you
you
can
use
help
magic,
out.
you could do something beyond the reach of mortal. So you could use
Yeah.
magic to channel the strength of your supernatural girlfriend to give you the power to move the stone.
I absolutely will if Roland fails.
You could
okay,
also
so-
just help out Roland, give him a
Yeah.
plus one.
Yeah,
that's-
I want to see if I can channel the remaining bits of her energy that I have any connection to, and
So-
assist.
Roll cool.
I'm giving you an 8 towards that.
Oh, I'm doing it.
Plus cool is 10. Oh,
Okay.
Are you doing
I was
it?
rolling help.
Roland's
yeah,
gonna strike up
so-
like
Oh,
Paz-
well, I rolled a 10, so if you want to
Oh,
help.
right. Yeah. So yeah, Paz, you give Roland a plus one
Okay.
Okay.
as tries to search, but then Aggie grabs you.
That makes it a 10 if I'm doing magic.
Yeah, sure. So yeah,
Tell
Tell me what happens.
Strike up a joint.
Yeah, I think so I think Roland just shoves his axe under it and uses it as kind of a lever to push it over.
the vibes underneath it shift, and like perfect harmonics, man, and it just flips over.
Oh, that's beautiful, man.
As it does that, though, the warding around this whole area collapses back in towards the stone.
Mm-hmm.
But Aggie has got hold of Roland and Paz.
So can I tell if I've completed my job aside from, extracting blood from Aggie?
Like, yeah, the whole interdimensional portal seems to just tear loose, and the hand's still there for the moment, but the color seems to be coming back to it. So the mistress looks like she's probably getting better.
Well, if that's resolved, then I guess I
Aggie.
could let her take me.
Yeah.
Ichabod looks over, gives you a nod, says, "Catch you later, Paz. Count on it."
I'll make sure you don't catch me.
Yeah, you get the
Dude
sound of
has
flapping
intense
wings
vibes.
for a second, and then you're not in the turbine room anymore. You're in the control room where Billy is.
Ah,
The whole wards have started to fall down, so in this case you don't dilate out of time. And yeah, the four of you are there. Ichabod, you've got David Collins in this grasp. You're stabbing him. He's basically crushing your skull and drawing your blood out at the same time. Also, this hand seems to be slithering back into a portal, and as it does so, it's transforming from a hand to like massive tentacles. It not one being as well, it's like a multitude of it's like a swarm or
Oh yeah.
yeah, but you can just see the tip of one last like a finger as it draws back.
I'll catch you later, too.
No, you won't.
Still there. I mean, if you dropped Collins, you could go for it.
He's not letting go of this guy.
Okay, then. I think that leaves Anderson and Ichabod in the room as it starts to flood. What do you want to do?
Well, there's really only one thing to do, I guess. So yeah, Anderson's gonna walk up behind this guy, and he's gonna kick some ass. He's gonna try and stab this U sword through this fucker's heart. That's where I like only get 2 or something.
yeah.
Oh no, okay, that's not too bad. That's a 10. So
Yeah.
I'd like to not take damage, if that's okay. Can that be my
Yeah.
thing?
No, that's perfectly fine.
Because I got a
You
lot of
just
owies.
stab it straight through him, and like it comes out of the front where Ichabod is, through his chest, through his heart, and the wound around it blackens and darkens and starts to trail out in like long spindly, almost like the yew branches are growing underneath his skin, and he kind of slowly starts to harden, and he just glances over his shoulder at Anderson and says, "I hate you guys." And then
Ichabod.
as he hardens, he'll lean forwards towards Ichabod. Go on, what are you doing? He's
So
probably going to
Ichabod,
say,
he waits. Ichabod will wait till he says something, but if he's leaning in to say something, but he's grabbing hold of
Yep.
Stanley with his other
Yeah.
hand.
What's
he'll
that?
say,
Sorry.
"You know, the agency and Anderson are the only reason we managed to get your brother."
That's okay, Sunshine. I'm just gonna get him back. And with that, Ichabod is gonna spend a point of luck and do something he vowed he would never do. He's gonna use magic to teleport himself and Agent Anderson back home.
Nice. By back home, do you mean like
The
back
farm.
home?
Back to our living room, because he doesn't know where anybody
Also-
else is. He's like I'm going all, and then he drops on the floor because he's got blood pouring out of virtually every
Yeah.
orifice of his body. He's like, "All right, Stanley, I need a couple of minutes, and then we got to go get my brother." And then he passes out.
Okay.
How's Anderson holding up?
He's not actually. He's not horrifically bad. The bleed stuff was pretty bad, but I think he's really soaking in what's just happened. Did the corpse come with us? Did David come with us when we teleported?
No,
or-
as far as you know, he's still in the water.
Okay. Well,
Aggie, Billy, Paz, and Roland Dawes, you're in the control center for this dam, as you can hear it cracking apart underneath
Wow,
your
this
feet.
is fun.
We have to run.
There's one bloodless agent Thrall kind of like looks slightly, his eyes widen, and he just slumps down and falls down the distance of the dam.
That probably
Like
means
the whole thing's falling apart.
Yeah, the big pad's got. We have to run because I don't know how stable this place is.
I pat you on the back. You did great, Billy. Oh yeah, we should probably run.
Yeah. Out the emergency exits.
Oh, hey,
Yeah.
I should talk to you about something when we have the time.
The dam is crumbling apart underneath your feet as you're trying to run over it. So everyone can roll act under pressure. It's because I'm extra mean.
10.
Oh, sneak eyes again. Great time today to be my dice. Fuck.
That's 11 for me.
Oh, it's an 11 if you count 1 and 1 is 11.
Hang on, I'm just trying to work it out. It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a 9 on for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So Aggie, well, Billy and Roland, you make it to the top of the valley, to the actual forest area and roadside along the side on the higher terrain. But Aggie, you notice Paz slip as the ground starts to crumble around her. And your hard choice is you can either make it or you can let Paz fall. Well, you can let Paz fall and make it, or you can stop and try and get Paz.
I'm going to try and get Paz. Because all I have to do is get to her, and then I can teleport. So I'm going to dive for Paz.
The whole thing crumbles underneath both of you, and water just starts gushing out into the valley below. And you're falling towards each other. Should I make you roll for it? Nah, go on then. Grab hold of Paz.
Yeah, catch her and then bamf. But I do have to roll for this one because I'm carrying someone. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's 14.
Nice. Where do you end up?
We kind of land in a hot tub at a motel that we may have stayed in once whilst on the Point Trail.
Love it. Love it.
So yeah, Aggie and Paz kind of splash down into this come back into being into this hot tub and like look around you far away from where
No, there's no looking around.
At.
I'm just going to jump her as soon as we land in the hot tub, and then
We'll
fail.
that out. And
Fuck yes.
Billy and Roland, you're kind of sat there on the valley watching this massive flood of water flow out.
Yeah, well, Billy thinks he's just killed everyone, apart from Roland. So Billy's pretty bummed.
You got Roland. He'll cheer you up.
And Anderson and Ichabod are kind of like Ichabod's unconscious on the floor. Anderson's doing that whole
Anderson will phone Billy, or he'll phone some of them.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Like,
Ichabod
is sitting on the floor, kind of panting, like on the phone, like, you know.
He's probably got some first aid to do first.
Ichabod is flavor unconscious. He's actually only unstable. He's got 5 wounds, so he's not.
No problem. And somewhere under a massive convergence of ley lines that are now shooting out back where they're meant to be, this kind of woodified corpse of David Collins is upside down with a yew sword stuck in through his heart when one of the ley lines opens up and like a fey-like hand, not dissimilar to Leopold's, grabs hold of the legs and yanks it through, and just hear like, we've got a place for things like you, and then we'll fade out from there.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Hey.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
That's good.
Woo!
Well,
Okay.
thank you everyone for joining us for the big finale of season 1 of Monster of the Week, the Anderson verse, which I think it's just now named.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. That got
That's
who
just-
christened it? I think it was you, Lewis.
I don't know.
I think that was Pete, actually. I think
Yeah.
Oh, Pete. Oh, okay.
earlier on
Yeah.
we were calling it the Point Trail, but Pete decided
Yeah.
it was the Anderson verse.
Yeah.
Okay,
Amazing.
fair enough. Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
not even Agent Ederson.
Nope.
I mean, he's someone.
Yeah, it's like
And it's the Anderson verse.
and Agent Anderson is on the loose now.
Yeah, the real
Oh,
one.
God.
Fuck.
Yeah. So also thank you to my wonderful players who did an awesome job of taking things in various strange directions that I wasn't expecting, but was hoping they would do. So there you go. You all did brilliantly, and I'm glad that the world is safe for another day, and that Team Anderson managed to make it through almost
Safe.
in one piece.
Not necessarily
Safe if
Until
not.
we break it
almost.
next time.
Yeah.
The good
But
news
yeah.
is it makes sense why they're in St. Hecata, the city, because they just flooded an entire
Yeah.
valley. So like,
I
they're
feel
definitely
like
not...
there's a post-credit scene with Anderson just like as the agency kind of gears up
Phones,
again and comes
yeah.
online, just a bunch of phone calls like, yeah, no, you, wow, that's. Good night, Aaron. Bye. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, and we're gonna move about slightly probably.
Yep.
For everyone in chat, but we're going in a second
Yes,
anyway.
that's probably a good time to
Doing
say our goodbyes.
plugs and
Yeah,
such.
so we'll say our
sorry.
goodbyes from Garblag Games. I was gonna say if anyone wants to, we'll be in like post-season wrap in the Discord chat.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you for playing. Thank you for watching Garblag Games. Join us on Discord, join us on Patreon, watch us on YouTube and on Twitch. And I don't know, sacrifice anything you don't really want to the great Garblags.
Yes.
So yeah.
Awesome. Join us next week on Garblag Games, starting on Tuesday with Alien. And Lily's going to murder us. She promises
yeah.
this every week.
Do you need me to move the windows? Because I thought you were about to turn it off.
Yeah. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
Bye.